environment, clean food, clean water, and really importantly, making sure all our animals are nice and healthy. And the way we do that with our seals is by training what we call cooperative care behaviours. So Jose is demonstrating this for you now. So he's just asked Moby to present his flipper, and he's going to check for some lumps and bumps like calluses, because seals do spend quite a bit of their time moving around on land and they are prone to these. Now this training takes quite a lot of time and trust. Jose has worked closely with Moby for years to build up to this. So he's checking his mouth, and yes, he's getting a whiff of that nice fishy breath. And some of you may have noticed at the front that Moby's teeth are a lot darker than ours. So seals, they don't have enamel like we do. They actually rely on bacteria to coat their teeth. So Jose here is checking Moby's ears. And a really fun fact about seals, our eared seals, is that when they enter their water, they can close their earlobes so water doesn't get through. Now Moby here, he's looking quite dark. This is because he is a juvenile male. He's about 6 years old and he's molting into his adult coat. So when he does have that final molt, he's going to be a nice dark brown with a golden crown on his head. Jose here was demonstrating some tactile work. And he looks quite relaxed, doesn't he? Now, another really important reason why we do such close health checks is because seals, like many animals, are great at masking. And what this means is if they're really sick, they will hide just how sick they are because they don't want predators in the wild to know that they are unwell. So when they have visible symptoms, it is often when they are gravely ill. But I think we can agree that Moby has done a fantastic job. We're going to say goodbye for now. He's here to kick off the show for us today. And we're going to get ready to welcome out the next of our seals. Please welcome out Diego. So Diego is here with Keep It Reading. Diego is about 9 years old and he came to us from the zoo in Holland, a nice big wave view. And Diego is here to show us the life of a seal. So a lot of people are surprised to learn that seals spend a lot of their time on land. So for Californian sea lions, that's about 90% of the time. So they will spend their time hauled out, like Diego's showing you, during resting time, breeding time, and during molting season. So as Diego is demonstrating, they do have claws on their rear flippers to help them scratch and get out that old coat. And while their front flippers don't have the same little claws, they can still scratch a lot of that fur out as well. And they will look back in that manner to look out for predators and other threats. Particularly during breeding season, they'll look for other male bulls. What Diego is demonstrating here is a natural behaviour known as thermoregulation. You see, his fur does an awesome job of trapping the heat in to keep him nice and warm. But if he wants to cool down, he needs to stick out a naked, hairless flipper to do so. Diego is doing a natural porpoising or bowing behaviour here, and it's a really quick and energy efficient way for him to move around the water. Californian sea lions, like many sea lions, are really curious and really intelligent creatures. So you can often see them ripping apart kelp, turning over rocks, not only to find food, but because they want to explore and play with that item. Diego is demonstrating here some of that behaviour. But however, there are a lot of risks involved when it comes to fishing trawlers. So as Diego is demonstrating, he's playing with that net, ripping it up, not only because he's curious about it, but because he knows that it's an easy way to obtain that food source. But unfortunately, they can risk getting trapped. And if they're younger seals, they can risk getting caught in that net and it growing and it constricts them. And that can increase the risk of injuries and even death. So the life of the seal in the wild isn't always easy, and human impact is one of their biggest challenges. But I think we can all agree that Diego has done a brilliant job, and he's about to be rewarded with a big bucket of fish. Keeper-Ree is throwing the fish, you may notice how easily Diego is able to catch it. And this is because of his whiskers. They have sensitive nerve endings on the end of them that allow him to detect current and movement inside and out of the water. Let's take a closer look. All right, everyone, on the count of 3, I need for you to shout out whiskers. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Whiskers! Very nice. So these whiskers do come in handy for finding food. Now, Diego currently eats about 6 kilos of fish a day. That's one really full bucket there. But Diego, what happens when that fish runs out? Yes, we're not that happy about that. We are overfishing our oceans, making it difficult for Diego's wild cousins to find food. But is it? So our seals do have autonomy, so if they don't want to complete a behaviour, they won't. But let's see if we can get Diego to check if there's any more fish in the water. Was there any fish, buddy? That was a no. But there is something you can do about it. You see, your choices matter. The next time you're out shopping for seafood, look out for the MSC or the Marine Stewardship Council blue fish tick. You can see it near Keeper-Ree, on the wharf and by the wall here. The MSC blue fish tick is is a sign that the seafood you're purchasing comes from a fishery that protects fish stocks, jobs, and the environment, which makes Diego's cousins very happy indeed. Yes, that sign there, Diego. Now, I believe you can all agree that Diego has done an awesome job. Let's say goodbye to now to Diego and Keeper-Ree as we get ready to welcome out the next of our seals. So we're heading on back to Australia and you're going to meet a native seal. He is a New Zealand or local. So a really important part of the work we do with our seals is training, and we do train them on what we call shape discrimination. So each of our seals has their own shape, and Keeper-Ree has Abel's, which is that green cross. So Jose has been working with Abel on this behaviour. So what's going to happen is he's going to send Abel into the water, and on his whistle, Abel will hopefully jump out of the water and select his green cross. Let's see how he goes. Very well done, Abel. So you can see they worked with 3 or 4 shapes first, and because Abel does a great job, they might build it up to 6 shapes. Not quite. So it is a work in progress. So Jose is going to give him another shot, because it's a really important part of our training sessions that we always end on a positive note and make it a positive experience for our seals. You can see Abel is raring to go. Still quite fascinated by that red line there, that red dash. So what happens here is if Abel is struggling to meet that criteria as he has demonstrated, they might look at reducing the amount of shapes to set him up with the best chance of success. So going back to 4. Very well done. I think we can all agree that Abel has done a fantastic job. It's time to say goodbye. Nice big wave there. And we're about to meet another New Zealand first seal. So Abel came to us. As our seals have demonstrated so far, training is really important, and it takes a lot of time and trust. They won't do anything that they don't want to do, whether it's something simple like a mouth open for a dental check, looking good. Bond? Well, something a little bit more challenging and complicated, like the behaviour that Bondi has been working on. Bondi is going to be doing a high bow. So he's going to get a run up to the top of the cliff face there, and then he'll jump in and hit that boy. But to do that, he'll need a bit of a run up. But I will need your help for this. So on my count of 3, I'll need you to throw your hands up in the air and yell, "Jump Bondi." Do you reckon you can do that for me? Awesome. Well, he's in position. Let's give that a go. 1, 2, 3. Well, I thought you did a pretty good job, but let's check in with Bondi. Was that loud enough for you, buddy? I think that was a very strong no. I think we can go a little bit louder now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Very well done. And I think a very light sprinkle for the front row there. Well, we really appreciate you coming out to join us today. But please stay right where you are, because our seals and their trainers, bye Bond, will be back to say their final farewells. But remember,